talk to people, most of the roles are towards back-end engineering, right? आप TensorFlow की बात करते हैं, किसी ने voice assistants की बात की, we talked about development roles. So yes, I mean, they are core to Google. And if I were to be very blunt, these roles are the king of the hill at Google. Like, अगर products नहीं होंगे, or amazing products नहीं होंगे, so probably they won't be consumed. But there is a lot more than what meets the eye. And I feel like this is sometimes roles जो कि लोगों की attention में या नहीं आ पाते या अभी तक नहीं आए. So maybe I could share some of them. So there is roles around like managing programs, there's roles around people operations, जिसको हम traditionally HR बोलते हैं. There are roles around finance, of course, because we need to make sure that the money that we're making also kind of creates shareholder value for people who are investing in Google. इसके अलावा आपके people management के role हैं, sales के हैं, strategy के हैं, operations के हैं, so on and so forth. So I won't have enough time to go through all of them, and maybe I don't have enough knowledge to talk about all of them either. But what I can do is I can spend some time talking about these couple of roles. So I started my career at Google in sales, और अब मैं strategy and ops में काम कर रहा हूँ. Broadly, they are similar organizations. They are both part of sales operations, but at Google we do sales a little bit more differently as compared to traditional tech. So we use data to make a lot of decisions. Does it work? Can we go to the next slide? Cool. Okay, so there are three large organizations if you are aspiring to join sales or sales strategy operations. इसके तीन broad functions हैं. So the first one on the left hand side is application development. App dev, I think for Pakistan is very exciting. After Vietnam, Pakistan is probably the second largest market in APAC, जहाँ पे game developers भी हैं और जहाँ पे game के consumers भी हैं. So if that, there we go. You know, I'm so happy. I felt like मैं अपने आप से बात कर रहा हूँ. So if you keep on doing that, that'll give me feedback that this is working out. Great. So app dev के जो roles हैं, they are pretty exciting for Pakistan in my opinion, because people like you and other Pakistanis are consuming games. I like to play this game. It's about cricket. It's called Crick Buzz, I guess. Like you play against other people. I'm terribly bad at it, but like I still try my best. And then I have friends who have game studios in Pakistan. They're making games which are being consumed all around the globe. Google क्या करता है इसमें? So Google's job here is to help these companies which produce games to be more consumable in the market. इसका मतलब ये है कि, for example, you have published a game. Can I have your name, sir? Naeem. Let's say कि Naeem ने एक game बनाई, and this is all the people in the room जो कि वो game consume कर सकते हैं. So Google's job is to make sure everyone here knows about this game, and of all the people who are targeted for this game, for example, ये game है to develop your vocabulary in French language. तो आप में से जो भी लोग French सीखने में interested हैं, they see this game's advertisement, and you are a valuable user to their platform. The second function, जो small and medium businesses का है, that's where I work these days. Small and medium businesses, traditionally हम बात कर रहे हैं lead generation businesses की, हम e-commerce businesses की बात कर रहे हैं. We're talking about affiliate marketers, and my job here is to make sure that across Asia Pacific, and particularly in English-speaking Southeast Asian markets and South Asia. अगर इसको अंग्रेज़ी को हम simple कर दें, so we start from Pakistan, we skip India, then we go Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, and we go all the way to Singapore. So how do we help e-commerce, small and medium businesses in these regions to make more sales, right? Some fun facts here, by the way, for Pakistan. पाकिस्तान की आबादी इस वक्त तकरीबन 220 मिलियन है. Out of 220 million people, about 110 million people are online, give or take. अगर हम 110 मिलियन को कंपेयर करें तो जर्मनी की पॉपुलेशन इस वक्त 85-90 मिलियन है. So in Pakistan, there is more people online than Germany and Singapore combined 5 times. right? And out of all those people, about 33%, which is around 40 million, 42 million, ये वो लोग हैं जो इस वक्त e-commerce पे ख़रीद रहे हैं. And this is the segment that is generally growing the fastest. So for all of you in the room, if you have ideas around e-commerce and if you are thinking about export-driven e-commerce, I would strongly encourage you think along these lines. इस पे आप try your luck. If you have any questions, definitely reach out to me or other people at Google, and we'll be more than happy to help you. And finally, we have the enterprise operations. So these are very similar to small and medium businesses, except that they work with the largest companies. आप बात कर सकते हैं Nestle's of the world, Coca-Cola's of the world, and so forth. So I created this slide after speaking at NUST कुछ 2 दिन पहले. So I thought I'll share it with you guys. One of the questions that I most commonly got was, okay, cool, like, sounds exciting. What do I do next? Like, how do I get a job in these roles? So these are non-tech roles, by the way, लेकिन ये आपके tech role पे भी apply हो सकती है. So you're here, you're this person, and this is a job that you want to get, right? So एक आपका outer circle है, the light blue one, and then there is the inner circle. Outer circle are things which you do not control per se, but you can work towards strategically. Inner circle जो है, these are things which you can control within a year or year and a half. So normally जब भी कोई role open होता है, अगर आप पाकिस्तान में हैं और आप एक role apply करना चाहते हैं जो सिंगापुर में है, the first question to ask is, how do you get from Pakistan to Singapore with a work pass, right? You're competing against maybe 30 other people in Singapore. इस वक्त सिंगापुर में 2,900 कुछ पाकिस्तानी लोग हैं. Out of those people, if you think about people who have, for example, Flutter skills, maybe they're very limited. So if there is a role in Singapore office and you want to apply for it, there's a likelihood there's nobody in Singapore with the skills that you have. Maybe you have the best skills in Flutter. So then Google may be interested in paying relocation for you to get you out of Pakistan and get you that job. So try think about how do you work out geography. आप लोगों ने शायद पहले कुछ गूगलर से बात की हो जो लोग वार्सा में थे पोलैंड में. Similar, there's not a lot of people with Pakistani background or Urdu speaking capabilities. इसी तरह से जो आपके US के roles हैं, you might have a stronger competition in terms of geography, but might not be the only way. जब हम इससे अंदर की तरफ आते हैं, I mean I'm putting all of these quite broadly. इसके अंदर आपके language skills भी आ जाते हैं, so I won't cover those. I think they're quite obvious. But अब अगर अंदर के circle की तरफ आ जाएं, these are things that you can control within a year or year and a half span, right? So इसके अंदर आपके आ जाता है work experience, आपके skills आ जाते हैं, आपका certificates आ जाते हैं, और एक चीज़ जो हम बहुत lack करते हैं generally, वो है networking. Generally, when I go and meet with people, networking का मतलब हमारे यहाँ unfortunately ऐसा समझा जाता है कि I'm going to meet someone today, and then next day I'll probably ask them, this is the job I'm interested in, can you refer me for that? Let's take an example. अगर आप अभी यहाँ से बाहर जाएंगे and you see someone on the streets और आप उसे जाके कहेंगे, I want to be your friend. Like you literally just go and ask that. Do you think that person's gonna be your friend? Not likely, right? So networking kind of works the same way, right? You have to invest in a relationship and it has to be organic. You can't just go up and you say that, मुझे ये चाहिए, you do it for me. I will be more than happy to recommend any one of you here if I know you, right? If I know your skills. But if I don't know you, and if you come up and you say कि मुझे ये चीज़ चाहिए, I mean, it kind of questions my credibility as well. Because if I am recommending everybody without knowing anybody, then the people who are referring or reviewing these profiles will probably be very skeptical of my referrals. Cool? So what I'm trying to say here is building your network is not an overnight achievement. ये आपको आहिस्ता आहिस्ता invest करना पड़ता है. And today you're here, you're already taken a step towards that, right? So try to use other channels as well. Socials को इस्तेमाल करें. LinkedIn is an amazing tool to build networks. The other day someone asked me, give me an example of it. कि आपने कह तो दिया कि करना है, but what does it look like in reality? So for example, हम आपकी example पे दोबारा से जाते हैं. You made a game, वो French language सीखने के हवाले से है, and maybe one of your goals is that you want to eventually move to Paris. वहाँ पे आप काम करना चाहते हैं. So a good way is to find those people in Paris who have similar interest as yours, right? आपने game बनाई और कौन लोग हैं पेरिस में जो इस तरह की games बना रहे हैं, and you could just reach out to them and say, I've developed this game. What are your thoughts? What can I improve? What can I do differently? And that starts a conversation, and then you leverage that conversation over a period of time to become like closer, and then you can have eventually when you have that role, you can make an ask. Second common observation that I see is a lot of times people will send in their resume. वो साल के शुरू में अपनी resume करके साफ करते हैं और उसके बाद वो एक ही resume जो है वो सारे DMs में जा रही होती है. Like there are sometimes like you get an email जिसमें कोई subject line नहीं है, कुछ title नहीं है और उसके अंदर एक resume लगी हुई है. I'm like, sorry, like what do you want me to do with this, right? So please don't be that person. Spend some time to read through the job description. And it might mean that you have to write your resume again, right? Please invest time. Companies के normally दो shortlisting के process होते हैं. जो पहला process होता है वो होता है एक machine उसको sift करती है आपकी resume को. It will match the keywords. अगर keywords वहाँ मौजूद हैं, so it will qualify your resume. अगर keywords नहीं हैं, you may not make it. So normally when you look through a job description, try to hunt for keywords. Flutter is a keyword, for example, right? So keyword आपका होना चाहिए, and then I'll quickly explain on the next slide how do you make sure that अगर आप उस Flutter keyword पे bounce करते हैं, when you go to the human review, what can you do about it? If you want to take a picture of this, take out your cameras. This is perhaps the only valuable thing that I want you to take out from this session. This is how a good resume's English looks like. And it might have something to do with language structuring. It also has to do with how you present yourself, right? So you think about what have you accomplished and how do you measure your accomplishment? By doing what? So इसको बहुत सारे rules कहा जाता है, इसको CAR rule भी कहते हैं, situation, action and result rule भी कहते हैं. Whatever you want to call it, you can call it. Essentially what it means is, this is what I was able to achieve. So अगर आपकी achievement है, I created a gaming app which teaches French to 1 million users and is developed in Flutter. I don't know, right? So इसमें क्या हो रहा है? आप बता रहे हैं कि this is what I was able to achieve. This is the volume impact of that achievement. और उसका जो है result है, उसमें मेरा क्या किरदार था, right? Because often at times, result does not happen individually. You're working in teams, so just make sure the reader of the resume knows कि आपने क्या काम किया. Then people often ask me कि how many interviews are there, what do I do for the interview process, non-tech के लिए. ये tech का नहीं है, this is for non-tech. So there can be anywhere between 4 to 6 interviews through which you will go through. And basically your interviewer is interested in knowing 4 aspects of your profile. Depending on the seniority of role, कुछ roles में आपकी शायद leadership ज़्यादा required हो और role related knowledge कम हो, और कुछ में role related knowledge शायद ज़्यादा हो और leadership कम हो, but more or less these are the 4 metrics. Okay? The first metric is role related knowledge. Second is cognitive ability. और अगर आप इन दो को club कर दें, typically that is 60% of weight on your application. Role related knowledge ये है कि if I'm applying for example, a job in sales, have I done sales before and can I demonstrate it? What does an example look like? I sit in an interview, I'm applying for a sales job and the question might be कि tell me about a time जिसमें आपने sale close की हो और क्लाइंट जो है वो आपके प्रोडक्ट के अलावा आपके कॉम्पिटिटर के प्रोडक्ट में इंटरेस्टेड था. So you can demonstrate your skill that way. Then we have cognitive ability. Cognitive ability is basically how good are you at solving hard problems. So that does not mean what is the best dimension of making, like how many golf balls can fit inside an airplane. We don't do those brain teases anymore. But that basically means that how can you solve everyday problems which do not necessarily require role-related knowledge. Googliness, in my opinion, there's so many definitions around it. I'm sure like other Googlers that you meet, they'll give you a different definition of it. For me, googliness means how do you work in a team and how are you not evil? As long as you can demonstrate these two things, I think googliness is pretty much covered. What the bookish definition of it is, do you match Google's attributes in terms of team and culture? Last one is leadership. It basically means, are you thinking ahead or are you just trying to solve the problem of now, right? So depending on the seniority of the role, this skill might be required a little bit more than the others, depending on आप किस function में किस role के लिए apply कर रहे हैं. So I thought I'll keep it short and sweet.